So in this video, I'm gonna continue the second part of the bash scripting series. And in last video, I got to realize that it was not performing well. So I tried to understand why it happened. So I realized that there were problem in things like watch properly watching the code whatever I was typing, and I felt like that is the key problem that got struck in the video, because of which many of you didn't like that video and it was not performing well. So every person has faced such kinds of issue, like they they do something and it doesn't work as they expected. So I tried to improve it this time, and first of all, let's start a text editor so that I can make a file and we can start the video. And I will explain some of the new things that I am going to use while teaching you all, so that you can understand whatever I am doing in much better way. So first, let's make a file in which we will type our script. So first we rename the script, so we would name it something like script.sh, and then open it. And I have also some notes which I would use to teach you all, so let's open that too. So first of all, what we have to do is we have to give it the executable permissions. So for that you have to open terminal. I would open it in my text editor, and you can open it the way you like separately or integrated to your text editor. So I would open it, and now what I would do is that I would give it permission of execution. So for that you have to do chmod plus x. X is for executable permissions, and then you have to write the name of that file which you have to give that permission. So write script.sh, and so we will write script.sh, and what happened, let's see it. The name was a little bit wrong, so what we would do, we will rename it. So let's rename it from this to script.sh, and now let's give it executable permissions. So let's give it executable permissions, chmod plus x, and then script.sh. So here it had got executable permissions. So now what I am going to do is that I would use some new things to teaching. First of all, I changed the theming of my text editor so that it would be properly seen by you guys. And second thing I am going to use is undo tree, which I have just opened in my left side of this text editor, which you can see here. Currently it is blank, but if I write something like just I should, the first line is for telling for which kind of cell we have to use. So hash shebang, and then bin/bash, and which will tell it to use a bash shell. So what happened is that it got a green color, and why it got such a kind of green color is that because I entered a new line. And if I would do something like enter another line, so it would make that text also green. So I just say, like, let's say like I enter another line like hello world. So what it would do is that it would make that text into green, which means that I have just entered this line. And if I do something else, like I edit it and delete this word, and then it would again show me that green line. So this is a handy feature which I think would help you to understand what kind of steps I am doing in this script. And you can see the outputs, I mean the changes here a little bit, and here you can watch which kind of you can get a brief idea of when I did change to which time. So with that feature, let's move on. So what is what I wanted to first tell you about is comments. Well, this is a thing which I regret about by my own self, because I was writing the Hyprland script, and which you guys probably know about it, but if you don't know, so I would tell you. Like, this is Hyprland script, which is now currently an optional feature of Garuda Hyprland edition. So in this thing, what we can do is that we can do some visual changes, if I would do something like change the Vivar theme, so I would select something like this, and then what it would happen is that it has changed to another theme, and this is a script through which this is going on. So let me use my previous themes. So what was the problem with that script is that if I would show you that script, so first let me show it. uh, mm, so here is that script. So what is the problem with this script is that I haven't used that much comments, and because of that it is not readable for many people. And when I was busy with the exams of J Advanced, so at that moment I was completely isolated with the forum, and at that moment some people were confused with this script and they wanted to ask some question, but due to the thing that I didn't use proper documentation, or you can say proper comments, so it was not understandable by many people. So what happened is that they have to wait for me until I came back online after a month, because of which I feel like it was a big mistake by my own side. So what you can learn from my own mistake is that you should do proper commenting of whenever you do some kind of coding or scripting. So let's come back to our main topic, which is today's scripting tutorial. So first thing that we want to do is that we want to define a variable. So for that, let me first write which kind of cell we have to use. So now what we have to do is that we have to define a variable. So we can use any name, but the thing is that you have to do one thing, is that you should ensure that it is not a name of a command, because if you would do such kind of thing, then it would cause some problem. So let's define our first variable. We can name it as var1 is equals to, and that will be my name, and here it is defined. So how do you can use that variable? Suppose you want to use it in echo command. So let's type echo, and then what we would do is that we would use double quotes. Always use double quotes when you use echo. And now what we would do is that we would write some string like my name is, and then we want to use that variable, so we would have to just put a dollar sign, and then after that we have to write that variable name. So we have wrote it, and it is completed. So now what we can do is that we can execute that command. We can execute that script. So when you execute that script, so you get this kind of thing, you get my name, that name instead of the variable. So that's how you have to use any kind of variable that you define in your script. So let's move to something else. like how you can receive any input from the user. So suppose you want to get the age of the user, so you can ask the user to enter the age. So how you can use it? So first way you can do is that you can first write a message like echo, and then enter your age, and then for getting the age you have to use the read command. Type read and then -r, and then and assign it a new variable like age, and then we can echo it out to get confirmed like your age is $, and then age. So now let's check it out. So, and now it has asked our age, and now what we have to do is that we have to enter our age. So here we have entered and it echoed our age back first. So that's how you use read command, but the problem with this is that you have to always enter it into a new line. But in this thing you have to enter your age into a new line, you can't enter it here. So how to change that? So for that what we can do is that we can write the age, this message in the read command itself. So how can you do it? For that let's paste it first to something like here, and then we have to add another flag with r, which is t. So we have to read -rt to get the age of that person. And now what we would do is that we would again write echo and then get that text back. I would write a new text in this like what is your age, and then let's run that script. So here you can see that now we have to enter the age into the same line, and it would give me the age. So that's how you can take input from a user. Now let's move to another command, that is if else statement. It is not a command, it is a statement. So for starting that if else statement, first you have to see this remember this table, which are the conditions which are you are going to use in that. Like for greater than sign you have to use GT, and for less than sign you have to use LT, and then greater than or equal to you have to use GE, like things. So you can take a screenshot of it and you will understand it later when we would do some examples. So I hope you have took a screenshot of it. So now let's move to the example. So here is the basic structure of how that script looks like, and here is an example code. So we would write our own code to get understand, like if we would use a simple if statement. First let's clear it out, and then now let's take some kind of data from user, like we can ask them their age. So enter your age, and then what we would do, we would assign a variable named as age, and now we can run an if statement, like if, and then double quotes, and then dollar, and then age. And then how we have to compare is that we have to do a greater than thing, and then we can add whatever number we have to compare it with, like we can compare it with 18. So it's not GT, we can use something like GE, greater than and equal to, and then we would write after if statement we would write then, and then we would write something like echo and you are eligible to vote. And then for ending the if statement you have to write the opposite of if, that is fi. So it is done. So let's execute that command. So I mean script. So you have to enter your age. Suppose I enter something like 19. So it would say that I am eligible for voting. If I would enter something like 12, so it won't give any text. So how can we get a text if the condition not satisfied? So like in general, how do you code? You have to the same way you have to use the else statement. So you can use else, and then you can take echo command and then paste it here. And what I would do is that I would add a not. So what will happen is that whenever we will enter something like age lesser than 18, so it would give me message that I am not eligible to vote. And in that condition we can use if else statement too, like a mixture of if and else. So like elif statement too. So how can you use that? So for that you have to write elif, and you have to write the condition like if I do something like suppose like age 18 is not right age to vote, and it is a controversial age in which you may or may not vote in some countries, and in some countries you can vote. So we can use that statement. So let's do it. So how you can compare it? So for like something like you are exact 18 age, so you can use equal to command for getting the result for exact 18 age. So we would write -eq for equal and then type 18. So if the age is equal to 18, so it will give me this, whatever it would execute whatever I would write in this section. So before writing any command you have to write again then, and then you will write the whatever the code you want to write. Like I would write you may or may not be eligible for voting. So we have wrote it, and now we would when we would execute it, so we can now type 18, and it would say that you may or may not be eligible for voting. So that's how you can use if conditions. But this is an old format for using if. Nowadays this format is not that much used. I mean this format is still used, but now a new format is which is a little bit more advanced, is used for if statements, and which is like this, which is whose example I have shown here in my notes window. So here in this command, so what you have to like change is that you have to simply do a little bit change, like you have to in bracket add extra square brackets, and then you have to use variable without double quotes, like I would use it without double quotes, and again I would write it with the same way. And here it is, like a new way of writing is used. I would recommend this format to be used by you, because it is a little bit more advanced, and it is there is no objection in using your previous way, but the thing is that it is nowadays it is preferred to use in that way, so we should follow the norms and use it that way. So let's change the thing, and we would execute it again. While using this kind of format, what you have to remember is that you should remember to keep a one white space in between your condition. Like you can't do this, it would be problematic, it would generate error. You have to keep one white space in front side and in back side, so that it executes properly, otherwise it would give some error. So let's execute it again, and it would ask my age, and now it would say that you are eligible to vote. So now let's move to some other things which are called logical operations. Like if I get some kind of example, like uh, I remove this, and now I would write something like someone is between something like in its 30s, so how would you describe it? So for that what you can do is that you can use something like if statement, and then if, and you can use something like if hyphen dollar age is greater than and equal to 30, and with that it is also the age is also less than 40, so then what I have to do is that I have to tell the user that you are in your 30s, and then I have to end the if statement. So what it would do is that when I would try something like 35 or 34, so it would say that I am in my 30s. And now if I would do something like 13, so it won't print anything. So what happened in that? Well, it happened because it has to satisfy both the condition that age is greater than or equal to 30s, and age is less than 40s. Then only it would print out this statement which I have write in echo. And why that? Because I have used in between a logical operator, which is, and its symbol is double and other logical operators are like or and not. You have already got an idea of what these logical operators do if you have already did some kind of coding in your past. But for sake of this tutorial, I would tell about it too. So suppose if I would use something like I would use or statement, and now what I would do is that I would write something like if age is greater than or equal to 40. So in both conditions what would happen is that it would say something like your age is greater than 30 or 40. If I run this script, so what will happen is that whenever I enter something like 12, so it won't give anything. But if I enter something like 30, so it would say you are greater than 30 or 40. and but you can realize that the second statement that age is greater than 40 is not satisfied, but still it is getting run. So how it happened, why it happened? Because in our statement, at least one statement should in our operator, at least one statement should be true. Here, you can see that uh, this statement got successfully got true, but this statement was false. So one true and one false is equals to true in all logical operators. But if I would use something like AND operator, let me enter AND, and then what I would do is that I would run again the script, and then I would enter something like 34. So it won't give me anything. Why it happened that? Because in AND operator you have to have both the statements true, otherwise it won't work. And now let's say something like you want to use something like not operator, not logical operator. So how you would use it? So for that you have to put an exclamatory sign, and then you can use something like $age is greater than equal to 30. So now what will happen is that if I would write 30 or greater than 30, so it would do opposite of what it should do. I type something like 34, so it won't give me any output. But if I would write something like 12, so it would say your age is greater than 30. So it is what it do is that whenever you write the condition is true, so this not logical operator would make it false, and if the condition is false, then this not logical operator would make it true. And let's move to something else, which is a shorthand if condition. If I were something like I ask user to if you like pizza or not. So I will ask user to if you like pizza, and I would and the user have to answer it into y or n. Y for yes and n for no, and I would name the variable in which it has to input will be stored like choice. So now what we would do is that we would echo something like we could write shorthand if, so that we can save our time and extra work. What is the basic format of using it is that you write condition in double squarely brackets, and then you put an and sign, and then you write first executable command, and then you write a second executable command. There is an example of it. So like this example, you can write something like dollar and then choice equals to, and then choice, and then equals to something like y. So what it would do is that it would check whether this is y or not. So you would ask me question like when I was thinking about if statement, so I used something like hyphen and then eq sign. But now what happened is that I am using something like double equal to sign. So why is that? It is because you are operating now with a string, and at that time I was operating with an operator, I mean a number. So whenever you operate with something like a number, So you have to use a normal equals to and other kind of symbol, like for something like if I would go up and I would show you like whatever those things were. So like you were using GT for greater than, but in in a in norm even in normal programming language like Python, use this symbol for greater than, and you are using some LT for less than, but for string you would use something like this symbol, or greater than equal to, so you would use something like greater than and equal to like this for string, and here is less than equal to, so you would write this for less than equal to. These are all the comparison operators that you use in normal programming language. Just the thing was that here you were using something like GT or LT or GE for numbers, but for strings you have to do something like greater than, less than symbols, so that you can operate with strings. So remember this thing in future, that for using something like a string, you have to use symbols like equals to and greater than symbols, which are used by default in any programming language. But when you operate with numbers in bash script, so you have to use something like hyphen GT and hyphen LE, like things to make it work. So now what we would do is that we would enter double and symbol, and then we would echo some kind of message. So we would write echo for something like if the choice is Y, so you would use echo, and then you like pizza. And if the statement is, if the choice variable is not equals to Y, so what it would run is that it would run another statement which is echo you don't like pizza. So this is a shorthand if. And now if I would run this thing, so what it would ask is that it would ask me to say that whether I like a pizza or not. See, if I press Y and then enter, so it would say that I like pizza. And if I would press N, so it would say you don't like pizza. So this is how shorthand if else if statement is written. And that's all for this video, and we would continue many new things in next video. Till then, thanks for watching and bye.